Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
On July 4th, 1962, I found myself in the lost and found of mankind. Just because something finds its way to the lost and found doesn't mean that it wants to be there. Just because something finds its way to the lost and found doesn't mean that the person who lost it doesn't care for that lost item.
You are writing moments that people will learn from, grow from, and heal through for thousands of years. Together, we are co-authoring a unique moment in time. That DNA, those fingerprints, they're going to be gone. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. But it is your story that they will tell for thousands of years, but only if you leave it. Things that do not serve you must go. The longer you wait, the more time you give them to trick you into serving them. 22 homes in foster care, everything I wore as a scar, as a shame, things that started like Velcro on my spirit. After just a few months, then years, then decades, I had believed myself into believing that they were indelible tattoos. Sometimes we have to be broken down to appreciate the view once we start getting up. I want you to leave this place and know that you have been changed. Why? How do I know it's true? Because each of you has just changed me.
Before you get it, baby, show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. playing my state of mind. But you walk right past me, pretending like you don't see what's yours for the taking tonight.
I'm just going to keep ringing it. Okay, I'll stop. But that does not mean you can nod off, yawn, all that kind of shit. I'm just saying, there's no sleeping on Bathrobe Moments. Got it? We may be comfy. I know I'm in my luxurious robe. Thank you. I won't say her name. She said, quit thanking her for one of my viewers sent this. I love it. Welcome to today's show. But there is no sleeping here. We are here on purpose, with purpose, to do something with this great content we're going to get today. We're getting poured into in a big way. SYLVIA Becker-Hill's backstage, getting it ready for you guys. So I want you to receive it. Let me tell you something. You heard the bell, right? Not a prop, not a show gimmick. Absolutely not. It is a reminder, a true life, real-time opportunity. What do I mean by that? I mean, well, just like that bell has a ring to it, you guessed it, so does the truth. And sometimes we get busy in our little morning routines, flat ironing the hair, making eggs, stuck in traffic, whatever the case may be. But no matter what, we should never get so busy that we miss the truth. Is that right or wrong? I know. Give me an amen. Who wants to kick it off? Okay, I will. There it is. Amen. All right. So listen, welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm Dr. Lauren. Welcome to the show. My sidekick. She's my version of Ed McMahon. Been here all 7 years. Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo. Love me some Lucy. Yes, I do. So listen, couple announcements before we get SYLVIA Becker-Hill in here. First of all, shout out to my boy. Hey, white boy. See, I can say that because that's actually the title of his book. My coaching client, so proud. Sonny Von Cleveland. His book is finally out. It is an awesome book. And look, got a little meat to it, right? So Sonny, Conversations of Redemption. Sonny's been working with me about 5 years. And this guy is so incredibly brilliant. He really is. He's a photographer. He's an influencer. He's married to the beautiful Claire. They live in Palm Springs, California. And he caught his first felony at the age of 7 years old, right? 7 years old. He had a felony already. This book, absolutely incredible. Get over to Amazon, or you can pick it up in any bookstore across the nation. It's tearing it up, moving up the charts. And also a thank Okay. Wait a minute. I'm putting my little special touch on the internet. Let me see if I come back. Coming back slowly but surely. For those of you, can you hear me? Okay. I'm looking at it. Okay. I see SYLVIA moving backstage, so that means I'm probably live. Okay. Hi, you guys. Yeah. For those of you who are not in the Chicagoland area, I promise you, I have a sneaking suspicion that all of the internet here in Chicago, they get it at the dollar store because it is booty. There we are. The Power of We Symposium. You saw them if you were here on time. Some of you weren't. We showed the promo from last year here in Chicago, but we were in Romania for a 10-day tour back in May. And thank you to the Los Angeles Tribune magazine for honoring us with a 2-page feature of our work in Romania with those awesome kids over there. And thank you, SYLVIA. She was backstage telling me you're frozen. No worries. I watch over here on my device, and I can see it back there too, right? So let me tell you guys who's here today. Her name, like I said before, is SYLVIA Becker-Hill. And she is an incredible woman. She is considered a Renaissance woman and has a multiple
She's a multiple time published author, so she has tons of books. She's empowered executives and business leaders since 1997. Now, in 2002, she received another honor when she became the first German coach to earn the coveted professional certified coach title from the ICF. Wait a minute. ICF, isn't that a wrestling organization? I'm just saying. Anyway, with not one, but two university degrees and over 30 certifications in various change modalities, including her recent recognition as a certified master neuroplastician, Sylvia is indeed the epitome of a trailblazer, not a stargazer. Don't get it twisted. Now, we're going to get all into this neuroplast. I had to look it up. And I'm just going to tell Sylvia before she gets in here, there's a rule here, no words with more than 6 syllables. You know how those academics are. Lord Jesus, right? So anyway, listen, put your hearts on the screen. It's our virtual way of saying I love, love, love you. Stand to your virtual feet as we welcome the colorful. I'm not kidding you. She is. And she's ultra talented. And she has a husband that ought to be on the cover of his own magazine. Hi, Peter. Sylvia Becker-Hill. Okay, Sylvia.
My husband is still asleep while I'm dancing here with you.
He's still asleep. He's still asleep?
Of course. It's
Take the camera in there and let's watch him sleep. Take the camera in the bedroom. Let's watch him sleep. She's like, I ain't trying to get divorced. Sylvia, thank you. Look at you. I love it. You're wearing a heart robe. You've got on your blue wig, your white glasses. You really are a Renaissance woman. And first, because I'm dying to get into the painting behind you. You gave me a little, I know it. Sylvia painted that, y'all. She's going to tell us all about it. I'm sure it has a name. But before we get to the painting, let's talk about the piece of art standing before us. Oh, that means you. I'm going to dip out for about 45 seconds to give you a chance to just create a vibe with everybody of your own. And then I'll come back in and we'll officially get started. Sound okay? All right. All you. Take it away, Sylvia.
Good morning from Vista, North County, San Diego. You hear my accent. I'm originally from Germany, and I'm living now for 17 years here in the United States. And I believe my soul guided me to end up here in California because I was carrying a lot of heavy weight energetically, like a heavy lid over my creative, beautiful self, being born in Germany to a family of adults as a single child who all struggled with PTSD from the Second World War. And my whole life was filled beneath the surface with deep anxieties, nightmares. I was managing it quite well, but I had to land here in the land of the free and where creativity is not judged and put a lid on, where I was able to heal myself. And I will talk in the next minutes here more about that because I believe we all have the power to heal ourselves no matter what. And I'm so excited to be here on this morning with you.
I love that. Wow. Definitely. Wait, I need to get a notepad because there's a lot of things I know I'm going to want to ask you. Heal ourselves. That's another thing I want to talk about. Start with, well, you're so multifaceted. I won't be able to concentrate because I have ADHD anyway, which doesn't help. But that painting, stand to the side, could you? Tell everybody about this. It's absolutely gorgeous. And it's for sale for the low price of
$15,000.
$15.
$1,000.
$15 to me, $15,000 to the rest of you. No, it's worth it. So, tell us about it. When did you create this? What is it called? And tell us what it represents.
So I painted it during the lockdown summer of 2020. The title is, you can't see it, I think, because it's here on the bottom small. This is Who I Am. And it's literally a healing painting where I brought all my stories from my early childhood things where I was disconnected from my body, time pressure, fear, trauma situations from school, being bullied, everything. This has over 50 layers. It took me 3.5 months to paint it. And I was going at the time through a training with a beautiful school here called Musea in Sonoma, California. My beloved mentor, SYLVIA, taught me the art and science of intentional creativity, which is a form of living. It's not about painting pretty pictures. It's about using your own intention with the movement of a brush or a marker. We can do it here later together, to literally bring whatever is weighing you down on your soul, on your body, on your mind, to the canvas. And the canvas becomes a composting ground where you change your own traumas into triumph. And I can read this canvas like a book. Everything you see has an intention behind it and is a symbol and a reclamation. Shall I go into some of the symbols, my dear?
Please.
Okay.
I would love that.
So it is a self-portrait, but you have to throw out any kind of assumptions you have that a portrait has to look like the physical real person. Obviously, okay, today my blue wig, there is a bit of blue here, but that's not what it's about.
Right.
So let me, for example, talk about, you see here the spirit of my body in orange. And sadly, I don't know how to zoom in here with your platform. If you somehow on your screens can zoom in, you see
here.
Body has markers, has lines on it. Oh, perfect. Throughout my life, I had a difficult relationship with my body, because when you grow up in an environment where trauma is present, emotions are so intense, and we all, as young children, our brain is not fully developed. Intense emotions are very, very scary, even the good ones, even the nice ones. Intense emotions are scary, and people who are very sensitive, like me, we make subconsciously the decision, it's better to cut our own head off from our body so that we don't need to feel, that we can stay up here and think our way through life, and please don't feel. Because sadly, for people like me, the body becomes the place and the source of pain, and our brain wants to protect us from pain. So in 2020, be in the lockdown, not working, being at home, I finally had the time and the space and the courage to confront what throughout my whole life was not working in my relationship with my body.
Wow.
So you see all these markers, they are inspired from a movie. It's probably 12 years old or so. What the bleep do we know about quantum physics, quantum psychology? And it has great comic pieces in the movie. And there's one scene where a woman is healing her relationship with her body by being in a bathtub and having her eyeliner and drawing beautiful patterns of hearts, like my bathrobe is wearing, hearts and flowers and symbols over her whole body. And I remember when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, one day I want to do that too. So I did it on the canvas. So the whole spirit of my body here, making these marks, and this is not intentional creativity. When you draw or paint like this, you have an intention, and while you draw and while you paint, you whisper that or think it out loud in your own head. So with every marker, every little dot I put on this orange ghost of my body, my representation of my body on the canvas, I was whispering, I'm reconnecting with you, beloved body. I am putting my head back onto you. I am connecting with you. My beloved body, I love you. Thank you. Thank you for carrying me through life. So it's like a painting meditation, working through the whole body. Ending, you see here on the left, my hand.
Yes.
So by putting my hand, I put paint, pink paint, and in the palm you see there's a shape of a heart. I'm claiming, now you can see it, I'm claiming back, I live in that body. I live here. I claim I live in my body. I stop denying what I feel. I'm making peace with pain. I'm here. I'm back. I'm in it. and I claim it all. And the pain was symbolized. You can maybe see here there are red fiery thorns, like a crown of thorns. And at the time, after years of working with computers at desk, I had a lot of pain in my shoulders. You see here the pain arrows.
Yes.
I had issues. I was scared to speak my truth. So my throat chakra had this red kind of burning sensations. So this art of painting, literally, you bring your trauma, your pain onto the canvas. And then by moving your hand, it's like I don't have a brush here, but a baking spoon. When you move your arms like this, you're moving the arms above and in front of your body over the middle line. And that has an effect on your two brain parts, brain hemispheres. In the middle, there's a bridge called the corpus callosum. And when you paint or when you handwrite, this is why always typing like this from a brain perspective is not healthy.
Right.
You have to cross the middle line of your body, which activates your brain in a way where it literally can rewire and heal itself. It's amazing.
I totally love this. I want to ask you about one more piece of that because I'm just nosy and curious all at the same time. Tell me about, because every time I looked over there, I saw something I didn't see before. And I love paintings like that. Tell me what the basket of fruit represents.
Ooh, this is now a bit a naughty topic at this time of day.
I knew it.
Okay, we are getting literally into juiciness.
Juicy.
Okay, for all the women out there my age, I'm 56.
Okay.
And I was going through literally painful phase of going through the changes of menopause, and using the metaphor of the desert Sahara, and certain body parts, the desert Sahara had more juices left than I had.
Right.
And it was really, really, really painful. And nothing helped. My doctors, I mean, seriously, I could go on, apologize. There are some really amazing doctors out there, but the doctors I encountered, mainly men, they couldn't even talk about it. Yeah, they were so embarrassed. But hello, this is a thing. You know, as a woman, having an identity, this is about me and who I am, and walking through my adult life with an identity of being, you know, a juicy, sensual woman. And suddenly I wasn't, and my hormones were, you know, making havoc in my body. I wanted to bring back my juices. So I did.
I know that's right.
I put in a strategic, important place a big bowl which symbolizes abundance and life and the vessel of new life, like the womb. And I put a lot of nice juicy fruits in there,
nice,
like
juicy
pineapple.
Yeah, all my favorites.
Banana and grapes and everything.
Look, and we see why, because look who it is. That's her and her wonderful husband, Peter. He's so nice.
He is my knight. He is my best friend. He's my everything.
Look.
Yes.
Yeah, we can tell.
For 23 years, going strong. Yes.
Yay. So let me ask you, so, you know, a lot of us, I came out of the COVID lockdown with some life-changing gifts that I am so grateful. I felt like I could have never found them any other way, through any other door. And I actually refer to the lockdown as the great equalizer, because it just balanced so many things in me. I didn't say the world or in my, you know, in my house, but within me, because I was forced to spend more time with myself than I had probably ever in my entire journey. So yes. I get it. I want to say something because I'm going to show a little thing here because we want to get into this say it.
Neuroplasticity.
Yeah. Neuroplasticity. 6. Don't go over 6.
I promise. No.
Yeah. Neuroplasticity. So just to get everybody on the same page. And for those of you who are a little nervous or intimidated about things that you feel are outside of your wheelhouse, I just wanted to, here's a little, I think it's like 2 minutes a little thing on neuroplasticity, and it's from a reputable source, Scientist.
Not so long ago, many scientists believed that the brain did not change after childhood, that it was hardwired and fixed by the time we became adults. But recent advances in only the last decade now tell us that this is simply not true. The brain can and does change throughout our lives. It is adaptable, like plastic. Hence, neuroscientists call this neuroplasticity. How does neuroplasticity work? If you think of your brain as a dynamic, connected power grid, there are billions of pathways or roads lighting up every time you think, feel, or do something. Some of these roads are well-travelled. These are our habits, our established ways of thinking, feeling, and doing. Every time we think in a certain way, practice a particular task, or feel a specific emotion, we strengthen this road. It becomes easier for our brains to travel this pathway. Say we think about something differently, learn a new task, or choose a different emotion. We start carving out a new road. If we keep travelling that road, our brains begin to use this pathway more, and this new way of thinking, feeling, or doing becomes second nature. The old pathway gets used less and weakens. This process of rewiring your brain by forming new connections and weakening old ones is neuroplasticity in action. The good news is that we all have the ability to learn and change by rewiring our brains. If you have ever changed a bad habit or thought about something differently, you have carved a new pathway in your brain and
Oh my God, I
experienced
just did that.
neuroplasticity firsthand. With repeated and directed attention towards your desired change, you can rewire your brain.
How exciting. Let me just tell you. Well, you heard when I was with you in San Diego, we were talking about how when Dr. Monsi was here in this very house, she said one thing to me, and I was able to change that pathway, that addiction, which was a choice. I found out just like that. I had been smoking cigarettes since I was 17 years old, 1978. Since 1978. And the very next day, I dropped it after she said what she said to me. And here it is 8 weeks later, nothing. I know. So when I was hearing them describe that, I was like, wait a minute. That's what I did. Talk about this. And Sylvia, what drew you into this fascinating work? And tell everybody how they can get started applying this to their own lives. I think it's absolutely awesome.
Well, we are all lucky to live now because, like the video said, just around 20 years ago, we didn't have the knowledge we have now because we didn't have the technology to look into brains which were not dead. Seriously, before technology like MRIs, etc., were developed in the 70s and commercialized in the 80s, all what we knew about the brain was either from dead cadavers, dead human brains, or brains from people who had severe issues health-wise, who had accidents. There are famous cases of someone having a steel rod running through their brain, or epilepsy where the two brain hemispheres were cut through. Or it was just ethically and technically not possible till around 20 years ago to watch healthy living brains in action. And now we can watch it. And from that ability, all the neuroscience insights came from discovering that it was not true that you were screwed after the age of, let's say, puberty, end of 24, if you were taking drugs, alcohol, bad lifestyle choices, not sleeping, etc., that the brain just declines and you are screwed and, run down the hill.
Right.
We can now, till the last breath we take, the brain is able to create new cells and new connections. Are there things which support that? Lots of sleep, lots of water, fresh air, healthy lifestyle choices, and not smoking. Yay. Or healthy food, of course. How did I get into that? I became in 1997 a professional coach back in Germany, which also was at the time a new profession, helping people to change, to get from where they are to where they want to be, and help them to make a plan to bridge that gap.
Okay.
And in that work, I started to get more and more frustrated because there were clients, not all, but a few, who after phenomenal breakthroughs, transformation, reaching their goals, coaching was over, we were all happy and proud. And then I call them half a year later or meet them a year later at a conference. And then they, oh, Sylvia, I'm so sorry. The coaching was amazing, but now I'm regressing. I'm back to square one. And so there was this whole regression thing going on, the resistance to change. And I was looking and looking, excuse me, and this is why I have so many modalities for change as certification. I became addicted to investing my hard-earned money into the next change modality, neurolinguistic programming, transaction analysis, for emotional freedom technique, hypnotherapy, bam, 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 to figure out the core question I had at the time: what the F do we humans need to sustainably heal and change and transform ourselves? And then finally, neuroscience books written for us, the lame person who is not a clinical researcher came out, and I was gobbling and eating up literally every book at the time coming out about the brain to learn what does it take. And then I went on a path when there were schools popping up in applied neuroscience, which means I'm not a clinical neuroscientist. I'm not working in the laboratory and putting electrodes on your brain. I'm learning from those clinical neuroscientists, their knowledge, their research, and then it's my job and also my genius and my talent to translate that into very practical, everyday, usable brain hacks. What can you do as a normal person to change your brain? And one thing I already mentioned, make sure if you work at a PC and you type a lot with your hands like this, that you do once in a while, ideally for a minute, once an hour, and you, Lauren, you can do it now with me, do simple exercises like clapping on your shoulders with your arms crossed. Come on. Yep. Perfect. Or you can do it on your thighs, yeah, and walk like an animal here. Left hand on your right knee, right hand on your left knee. The key is that you cross your arms and hands over the middle line of the body. Another very simple thing, activate your fingers like claws and go in a circle on top of your head. And take a few deep breaths. Beloved viewer, just do it right now. Don't close your eyes if you're driving. Oh, I mean, Lauren, can you feel some tingling? Can you feel some energy?
You see, I'm still doing it. Yes, and I feel it on my shoulders like chills.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
So this is from a science called kinesiology, which again honors the body and the body-mind connection, which I worked through here in my painting as well. You see here there is this blown up brain, and you see the different halves of the brain. Here, our right side is more the circles, the flowers. So this is a side where the emotions are mainly situated. I simplify it. And here on the left side, you see the zeros and ones, the binary code. You see here numbers and letters. So this is the analytical digital mind. And I also symbolize, which was difficult in 2D, this here is a face looking out to you with two eyes. Lauren, can you see there's a second face looking backwards? And that symbolizes the subconscious mind that is always looking into the past, into your history and all the trauma and experiences you are carrying with you. And in the brain, it comes all together. In the subconscious mind, everything, like literally everything you have ever experienced is stored there, and it's always happening now. So when people regress after coaching or get triggered, it's something from their past, from here where we look back, something from your past gets triggered now in the year 2023, and you regress, and suddenly you're the 5-year-old scared by something, and the big manager or man or woman standing in front of the board wanting to do a presentation, and suddenly the mouth goes dry and the tongue goes thick, and they can't talk.
Yeah.
Because someone in the room, something was said or happened, triggered them, and they regress.
And when people have panic attacks and things like that. So let me ask you about those numbers. Because even though it says 2 and then 4/7, I instantly saw 24/7.
How interesting.
Like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Brilliant. I didn't even see that.
So that's not what you intended when you wrote 2/4/7.
It was intuitive. You are reading now my own intuition. Thank you. I never saw that.
Anytime.
Perfect, my dear. We are collaborating.
I just love the way everything you're talking about ties into that work. Because she gave me the option of choosing between 2 of her paintings, and I was drawn to this one, and now I know why. I want to show you something that well, first of all, I want to say this. A couple weeks ago, I was showing a clip like I did when I forget who the guest was. Sorry, guest, if you're watching, but we did it together. You guys remember this, where he was telling us to tap certain places and say affirmations, and we were tapping. Do you know about that?
Yes,
I had never heard of it.
Emotional freedom technique. Absolutely brilliant. I have used it since 2011. Amazing.
I knew it. Yeah, I actually bookmarked it, and I try to do it at least once every other day when I remember. So you validate that.
Absolutely. When I learned in my mid-40s about epigenetic PTSD is where you as a child living in an environment where PTSD in others is present, our brain takes it on like a sponge. And in our DNA from our parents, literally in our cells, in the DNA of our cells, we inherit some of the PTSD from our parents. And so I used emotional freedom technique and tapping to heal a lot of the trauma from my parents in my body from the Second World War. I had for years a dream, a nightmare I could not explain. It was always the same, a scene in black and white, like an old movie of a woman, adult woman with dark hair, having a little girl, blonde pigtails beside her, sitting on a bench, like a rock, like a concrete bench in an ugly concrete kind of cellar room, and everything is shaking, and pieces from the ceiling are raining down. That is like a scene, a snapshot. And I was starting to dream that in my early teenage years. And every time in my life I was under huge stress, that dream showed up. And I didn't know what it was. Because at first I thought the little blonde girl with the pigtails, that was me. But my mother didn't have that dark hair. No one in Germany, where I lived and grew up, talked about the past, talked about the war and their stories. So I didn't know growing up what my parents endured. I learned about it literally in my 40s. And in my 40s in Germany, there was finally the professional scene of psychotherapists starting to acknowledge that there is a collective trauma from 2 world wars and the Holocaust and everything. And there was more research into the effects of trauma. And when I learned about that, reading all these books, I used emotional freedom technique because I realized that dream I was having every few weeks for decades was not my memory. It was an epigenetic memory. It was my grandmother with my mother in a bunker while the bombers were attacking the city they were in. I tried to talk with my mother about it, but she already started having dementia. She couldn't talk about it. Can I prove that this memory was from my grandmother and my mother? I can't prove it.
Yeah, but you know,
I just have an intuition. I have a clear inner knowing.
Yes.
And after using the emotional freedom technique for days to work through different aspects of the trauma, how I felt it in me, the dream stopped. I am having it now maybe once a year, but not any longer every few weeks when I'm under huge stress. That for me was life-changing. Absolutely life-changing.
I imagine so. I want to show you something that
Yes.
I employ and I use it. And a therapist of mine years ago asked me to start doing it, and I still do it, and I share it with my coaching clients, but I've taken it to a whole nother step too, another stage. So I want you to explain what's going on, why it works. I've been always wanted to ask someone, because that was so many years ago. I don't know where that person is, that therapist now, but he told me back then, Lauren, when you're trying to quit questioning yourself, your instincts and things, your body and your mind, they know automatically in most cases what is best for you. And he would talk about fight or flight. That's how it knows when to kick in, and dopamine and endorphins and all those things. So anyway, he's like, so all you have to do, and he said, write healthy and throw a line under it and write unhealthy. And then when I'm saying, okay, describe something, and then look at these words. If I'm describing something to myself or questioning something that is healthy, I automatically go to the word healthy. If it's not, I automatically see unhealthy. Well, then after employing that for years, probably 10 years, one day I was sitting here minding my own business, and I had done that technique, and I had a download that said, that's one of our clues, right? And I was like, what do you mean? If you're warm, you can take your robe off. I know are you getting warm? Okay, you can take it off. You're in California. I'm in Chicago and it's cold. So look at this. When you split the word healthy, and I thought you would appreciate this because of your work.
Heal though, yes.
Heal
thyself, yes.
Like heal thyself.
Yes, yes.
Healthy means you can heal thyself. And I was like, wait a minute. I have that ability. And when you started talking about the brain's ability to, like what we were seeing in the clip, the neuroplasticity, I was like, this is what it's talking about. That is why this word is here. Clues, no matter. And look how old this word, they didn't have prescription medicine when this word was created. They didn't. So I'm sure they had something, but I'm just saying, so take us even further. What are some easily applied techniques, daily grounding or daily rituals, practices that will help all of us learn or want to learn more about neuroplasticity and the wonderful benefits of it? So where does a beginner start?
So I think the key is that you realize it's not about the brain and the neuroplasticity, it's about you. That you matter and that your health and your happiness matters. I believe that our happiness is the biggest gift to others and the world, because happy leaders don't hurt others. Happy people don't kill others. Happy people don't start wars. If happy people have a lack of resources or need something, they go in communication. So the key is, it's not about the brain, it's about you and helping you to heal, be happy and fulfilled, because then you are a gift to others and to live with and shape the world in a good pace. I would love to show something which I'm doing right now, because every time a war starts in the world, like 2 years ago in Ukraine, and now the conflict in between Israel and Palestine, I sleep not as well. Yeah, my nightmare was up last week again. I feel it in my body. And then a whole cocktail of emotions gets triggered. Sadness, grief, anger, helplessness. It always comes up. So what I do, I'm teaching you now, we call this in intentional creativity, we call it praying with dots. And it's the most simple creative meditation you can do to shift your brain state. When you are stressed, or scared, I invite you to take any kind of piece of paper, a journal. If you don't have a journal, you're sitting in Chicago, in the tramp, in the beautiful
The
tram
L
in Chicago.
Yeah.
If you have a book or a piece of paper from your sandwich, any kind of paper and any kind of simple marker will do. Colors are nicer, but you can do it with a simple black one. I'm choosing here a fat one to demonstrate. You can take a piece of paper, even if it's maybe the margins of a book you have with you, and you start creating simple dots. And you without the goal of designing or drawing something special, you make dots. For some people, if you have a big piece of paper, this is disconcerting and even anxiety triggering. Oh my gosh, where do I start with the dots? Yeah. And what shall I draw? To make that easy, what I do with my clients and myself, I say, then don't start with the dots immediately. Allow yourself to take a deep breath. And for 30 to 60 seconds, you allow the pen to dance on the piece of paper. Look, I'm not even looking what I'm doing here. The key is that you are breathing deeply in and out, and you are not controlling where your hand is moving. This is already, do it with me, Lauren, because then you can feel, or you beloved viewer, if you have a piece of paper at hand, what you're doing right now is calming down your busy mind. You are getting back into your body and you are connecting your two brain hemispheres. And when you have done that, and now I'm switching the color to make it more better visible, now you have a structure which helps the brain to place the dots without thinking. I go now into the structure I created and I follow with my hand, my eyes, and I make little dots and I breathe deeply in and out. And now I start my praying. With every dot I make, I choose peace over conflict.
Yes.
With every dot I make, I choose to relax within myself. With every dot I make, I choose to forgive those who have hurt me in the past. So you start with not focusing on where the world is at war. You start first with any conflict and stress within yourself. Beautiful, Laura, perfect.
Yes.
And you just keep going, making dots, whispering sentences like this. With every dot I make, I sense my own anxiety calming down. And you breathe deeply in and out. So we create first peace within ourselves. And then we think maybe about someone who have hurt us or someone in our private circles who is going through a difficult breakup or is attacked or something. And then we go into the world and then we think about the two parties involved in a war and we allow ourselves to pray for both of them. For me, it's all about the people who, I feel the emotions coming up.
I know, me too.
It's so devastating to see the horrors and being far away and not having, for me, the biggest challenge is feeling so much helplessness. So I have to pray for myself to release that. So with every dot I make, I embrace the feeling of helplessness.
Yes.
And this is a paradox for all change. What you resist persists. If I hate my helplessness, it will become stronger. So the first step is to make peace within me and my feelings of helplessness. They might not even be true. I mean, we all have the right to vote. We all can voice our voices. What you are doing here, Lauren, making a radio show every morning to inspire and empower people, we all are way more powerful than we think we are. But first, before we can embrace our power, we have to come to peace with feelings of helplessness.
Yes.
So with every dot I make, I sense my body relaxing.
And Sylvia, you know what? I'm sorry for interrupting, but from the very beginning, I just thought I better explain it so people didn't think I had bugs underneath this robe. because I keep doing this. But remember when we were doing this and I said I felt chills? As soon as I started putting the dots in, I felt those same chills.
Beautiful. So in my world, these are not my words, sound a bit woo-woo, but I say it anyway. When I get these chills in my shoulders, for me, it's always, I say, my angels clapping on the shoulder. And that gives these shivers throughout the whole body. And for me, I have those chills. And please, beloved viewer, check in for yourself. When do you have them? I have them when truth is spoken in my space, in my presence. Then I feel that I get them right now.
Yeah, that's what they do for me. They're confirmation. They let me know that what we're talking about or feeling or expressing or whatever is real. It is, don't question it. It is, I know this to be true. And that is when I automatically push things into my hard drive space and I don't put them on a thumb drive, like waiting for the verdict. I'm going, this is real, this is true, and that's all there is to it.
Yes, and imagine instead of people just yesterday on Facebook, 2 people getting into a heated comment thread about the current conflict. It's like, come on, people, there is enough war out there. Let's not fuel the fire and create more conflict and more wars. Imagine we all would do 5 minutes of praying with dots every morning before we go into the day and every evening before we go to bed.
I love it.
Shift the whole energy around the planet, choosing peace over war, choosing love over conflict, choosing to relax first our own nerve system, our own brain, our own body, so that we can read in the news or on social media something which is not maybe aligned with our beliefs, with our opinion, but instead of going into war with it on an angry thread of commentary, we breathe, we relax, because then we stay functioning. We can't lead positive change when we are in a triggered state. We simply can't, because then we are functioning from our ego and our survival instincts and not from our higher self and the creativity. For me, creativity is our divine spark. Creative, creator. We are creating. And I know you, Lauren, you speak about that all the time when you talk about the powers of words and the powers of our thoughts. With every thought we think, with every word coming out of our mouth, we are creating. We too, right now, are co-creating this moment for our beloved viewers and listeners. And this is our divine spark. We are all co-creators in this together. And if there will be peace on this planet or war, it's a matter of all of us. Yes.
That's why I keep this on my desk, because it reminds me that I am never alone in anything, that all these colors inside of here feel like everything that I want to stay within at all times, that there's always something swirling around, and I can pour my swirl into, like what you're saying here. And I love this. I want to ask you, so this practice, you mentioned before we start our day and last thing at night. So would you consider this a form of meditation?
Yes, it's a painting or a drawing meditation. And the difference between classic meditation, when you don't do that, when you just meditate, when you close your eyes, and of course, this is beautiful. Please keep meditating. The thing is, when we meditate and we visualize peace in the Ukraine or in Palestine and Israel, it's just in our sphere, it's in our mind. Some of meditators are very good in projecting it out into the world, which is then another layer, which is perfect. And that has an impact on the quantum field. The problem is, as soon we stop meditating, our brain gets activated and we have this strong inner critical voice which doubts us constantly. And when we just meditate in the old classic way, the doubt voice can, not in everyone, maybe you don't have it, but a lot of people doubt that what they just did has an impact in the world. When you do this, there is an ancient 1,000-year-old meme which says, seeing is believing. I say it again, and please take a deep breath and feel if this resonates as true for you or not. Seeing is believing. So when we do these prayer dots, our eyes, they see that we are changing right now a blank piece of paper into
Yes.
something with crickly crackle, as we Germans say, with doodles and with dots. And because it's connected with these intentions and choices we are making, I choose love over conflict, I choose peace over war, the brain stops doubting that we just did what we did. Seeing the doodle dot image creates a feedback loop which reinforces our new choices and our intentions, and that makes this form of a creative meditation or painting meditation so powerful in the brain. It will calm down your self-doubt's voice, and you will be more powerful in whatever you want. Of course, you can use this method for anything you want to choose. You want a nicer spouse, you want a better car, a better job, more money. You can pray for everything with prayer dots. And rewire your brain for your fulfillment and success.
I absolutely, and it's proof that you, and I was just talking about this like forever, but most recently, like last week, when I was telling people how many times do so many of us, if someone says in a thread on Facebook or wherever, I'm going through this or whatever, and we just simply hit the little prayer hands, not really uttering a prayer at all, just a symbol of something. And it's not the same thing. It's like you say, don't just sit here and type, cross over, write, do things. I am telling you, right, that is because we have this power, and power is opportunity. Power is everything. It is what lets you know you can do it. If the power goes out in your house, how many things stop? Almost everything, but you see what I'm saying? You don't need electricity, but look at all the things that we count on to have power. Same thing. If I don't turn my power on, if I don't keep my power on, I let my power get turned off, I am of no use to myself. And the moment I'm no use to myself, I am no use to anyone else, because I cannot pour from an empty cup. Oh, I just love you. Yay.
And I know we have to come to an end, and I don't want to leave people with the impression that I always have this kind of hair. I want them to recognize me. So let me unveil my German little pigtails I'm wearing here today.
Yay.
So this is my real hair, my real look, and I'm really sweating here, being here in action.
And let me reveal my real hair. Wait.
Yeah, so.
Where is it? Okay, so anyway.
You forgot your hair?
I forgot it. It's upstairs on the wig thing.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It's such a pleasure and honor to serve here your audience. And I love that we both are now friends from the Middle West to the West Coast. And I love Chicago. I can't wait to go out for dinner.
Well, you must contact me when you come here. And next time I'm in the Southern California, well, I'll be out there in November, but down in Hollywood at Paramount, but I will come back down to San Diego. And I want to say to everyone out there, on your screen right now, you see Becker/Hill.com downstairs. You can find all things Sylvia Becker-Hill there, or you can just come upstairs to www.talkwithsylvia.com and learn more all about this neuroplasticity and all the other plethora/myriad of wonderful things that this wonderful traveler has for you. So I just thank you. Give my regards to Peter. Tell him I said hello. We missed him. And Sylvia, you are welcome back anytime you choose. I just loved it. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Tomorrow, you guys, listen, let's do it again. If you want, come on back. I'll be here, God willing. I'll meet you right over there on the front porch at 8 a.m. Central, where together we can create another divine moment in time. It takes a lot to get through a day, but not as nearly as hard as we think it is when we come together at the beginning of the day and we set those intentions that somehow, some way, each of us is going to ease just a little piece of suffering somewhere in the world. So I just thank you again, Sylvia. God bless you. I love you. And What is that? That is a brain.
That is a brain, of course. This is your beloved brain. That's a human brain. It's heavy, it's big, it's a right size. Yes, I'm in love with the human brain.
Well, I'm in love with mine a little more now, and it's all because of you. Thank you so much. You guys, every day I tell you this when we leave, and I mean it. That's why I say it. I say what I mean, and I mean what I say, because when it is full of meaning, it becomes meaningful. And here it comes. I love you. And there's not a damn thing you can do about it. So take that with you and have a divine day. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you, Sylvia. Mwah. Bye-bye. Thanks. Great job. And again and start. Can we just do the show over? I just love you. I mean it. Okay, for real. We got to go. You're my best.
I know.
Thank you so much. You taught me a lot today. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Sign, shamelessly displaying my state of mind.